So you have a bookworm to buy for. Welcome to my bookish gifting guide. Now I'm intentionally filming this with the holiday season coming up, but this is appropriate for any situation. If it is a bookworm's birthday, you want to just get them a nice treat, it's a Christmas gift maybe. These should work for everything. And hopefully there is enough in here that if you know your bookworm well, you will be able to decide like how you can tailor this to their specific reading taste. I'm going to mention specific brands that I enjoy, but there are lots of other particularly small businesses that make a lot of the things I'm going to show you. So definitely check out your local area. Mine mainly are either coming from the UK, the US, or I've got one Canada as well. But just to note that there are probably things more local to you if you see something you like. And this list is not exhaustive. I am sure there are lots more creative things you could be doing for the bookworms in your life. So if you have any gifting recommendations for the readers that you love, leave them in the comments below. Okay, we're going to dive straight in. This felt like a cop-out including this, but bear with me. The first one is book gift cards. Hang on. So obviously you could buy your bookworm a gift card for their local bookstore. You could get them in the UK a national book token, which can be spent at lots of different bookstores and used online. Or if they have a specific store that they like, maybe get one for there. I'm thinking like the more national ones like Waterstones, or if you're in the US, Barnes & Noble, also like BAM and Indigo and all of those bookstores. There are lots of bookstores, no matter what country you're in. I think gift cards are going to be available to you. However, this felt like a cop-out. This is the easy answer. But I'm telling you for a fact, book lovers love more books, and there is nothing they love more than getting to pick out their own books. They will have a TBR hundreds of books long, and you will be enabling them to help make that a bit shorter by getting some of those books on their shelves. I did, however, want to flag an example of how I'd taken this recently and made it a bit more suitable for a book lover in my life. Me and some friends actually pitched in for my friend Laura's birthday. Now she has every book I think she could possibly want, and she has that many books. Actually, I don't have a good understanding of all the books on her shelf, and I was scared that if I bought her something she was already going to have it or maybe already have read it. So what we did instead was we actually had to fake it up. We mocked up an Apolicon pre-order gift voucher. So luckily we have a friend who is quite good at graphic design, but the one thing we knew is that my friend Laura had a lot of Apolicon pre-orders in like her Baventi basket, and this will work for any bookworm who's got a book signing coming up. Guarantee they want some spending money for that event, or they want to get some pre-orders in. Lots of these events do signing exclusives that you can only get at those events, and it makes getting those books feel really special, particularly when you can collect them on the day and go and get them signed. But because a lot of these special editions at events are indie published, they can get quite expensive because they're expensive for the author to produce. So me and some friends all chipped in. We actually just sent her the money so that she could pre-order something she wanted. But if you're looking for something to physically present to somebody, I would recommend maybe mocking up some kind of gift certificate for whatever event it is that they're going to. My friend Laura really enjoyed this. Okay, now we've got the first easy one out of the way. Next up is a broad category, but it's a broad category for a reason, and that is like bookish or bookshelf accessories. Again, bookmarks feel like a bit of a no-brainer, but I wanted to mention them because there are some really, really beautiful, like gift quality bookmarks out there. Here are some that I love. I've actually completely forgot the name of the shop where I got these from. One of these I actually received as a gift, and two others I bought for myself, but I will include the name of the seller of these ones specifically on the screen. The name of the shop was completely just like slipped my brain. When I'm looking specifically for gift bookmarks, I like to either pick something that is from one of their favorite books or series, like these ones are, and I like to pick something that just feels special, whether that's because it's a really thick card, or it has a nice tassel, or it has some foiling on there. Here are three of my favorites. Or I like to go for something that feels quite generic, but like it suits the genre that that person likes to read. So here I have a couple from the Quirky Cup Collective, and again, these are on a really beautiful kind of thick card with lots of foiling. Again, I bought these for myself. But I just think these are so beautiful, and they're such a nice thing to add to a gift as well. If you've already got them a book picked out, or you've already got them something else and you just want to add on something small, bookmarks are always needed. Here are a couple more of my favorites. The first company that I showed you is based in the UK, I think. The second company I showed you is based in Australia, and then I also love Enchanted Oddities bookmarks. These are huge, and these are possibly my favorite bookmarks that exist. Enchanted Oddities is based in Canada but does ship worldwide, as does the Quirky Cup Collective. That's how I got them in the UK. So bookmarks, great as a collection if you're going to get a couple of them, or like as a stocking stuffer, or just to add on to something. And I didn't really know what else kind of category to put these in, so I'm lumping them together with bookmarks as kind of a bookish accessories section. But I feel like bookish themed candles, there will also be other things in this. anything that bookworms can put on their shelves of shelf decor is really appreciated. You might want to think about some kind of storage for bookmarks, like I've got bookmark pots on my shelf. If you know them quite well, you might know specifically that it's a piece of decor they like. I have some like shelf standees, I have crystals behind me that remind me of certain books, but those feel a bit more personal, or like you really have to know the person a little bit better. So if you can't think of anything like that, or if it is a bit more of a casual gift, Bookish candles, perfect option. This one is from Barnes & Noble. I'm not sure if they still do these because I bought them earlier on in the year, but the actual brand that does this, oh no, it is the Barnes & Noble brand as well. So I have two of these. I have one that says romantasy, and then I have a dark academia one as well. So Barnes & Noble is based in the US. If you're in the UK or elsewhere where you can't get Barnes & Noble, I also have quite a lot of these Page and Wick ones. I just think these are a really beautiful style candle. I have these all over my shelves. But also included in this list is just little things that you could think of that would look good on their bookshelves. So for example, I have like fake potion bottles. Make sure you're checking out small businesses, but also make sure you're checking out indie authors. I also have candles on my shelves that have come directly from indie authors at signings or on their website. They often have some good ones, particularly if you know the person and like what series they like. Okay, I'm wrapping up there for bookish accessories. Realistically, there is so much more I could go into with that, but those are my like two I'm gonna highlight: bookish candles and bookmarks. Let's say your bookworm is more of a Kindle reader, then take bookish accessories and change it to Kindle accessories. Again, there are lots of different things that you can get within this. I know a lot of people have like tassels coming off their Kindles with like their initial. A lot of people like to buy their friends bookish stickers from the series or genres that they like to put behind a clear Kindle case. So you could absolutely buy a clear Kindle case and some stickers. But what I actually want to recommend to you is some kind of pop socket. I have quite a few of these now. This one I think is from Libaloom. Some of the brands I've already mentioned, like the Quirky Cup Collection, do their own versions called Clingies. There's a brand I've been watching for quite some time called Wisteria Road that do some really nice ones as well. And often these can be fandom specific or genre specific too. I really like the magnetic ones just so I can change them out. It's worth mentioning Kindle inserts I think are becoming increasingly popular. So the one I have on the back of my Kindle is from Quirky Cup Collective as well, but they do these at lots of different places. These are really nice design backgrounds. Again, you can put into a clear case just to make that Kindle a bit more personalized. And my number one Kindle accessory recommendation is a Kindle sleeve. I should have mentioned when I filmed the section on like bookish accessories to put a book sleeve on there. Book sleeves are always helpful when you're a bookworm, whether they just need a book sleeve to like chuck in their bag so their book doesn't get damaged, or whether they're going to use it for moving or signing. Literally, I go through so many book sleeves. But specifically, you can get e-reader sleeves. I'm saying Kindle, but no matter what e-reader they use, you can get these. Again, mine is from the Quirky Cup Collective, and actually if you're looking to spend a bit more money and maybe get a gift set, this could be a really good option. You can see I've got like the backdrop and the Kindle sleeve. They actually do a matching clingy in this as well, but I had one that I thought matched quite well already, so I didn't pick that up. But yes, if they are a Kindle reader, absolutely. If they're an audiobook reader, just get them Audible credits. I promise they want more Audible credits. Up next, and this is one of my favourite things that somebody could buy for me, this is Bookish Apparel. I have a clear bias here. I absolutely adore Enchanted Oddities Apparel. They're based in Canada. The shipping is worth it, I promise. I actually have another order on the way from them, but they do hoodies, embroidered sweatshirts, they do t-shirts, hats and smaller items as well. They only do a couple of fandoms, but they are some of the most popular fandoms. And again, I'm mentioning Enchanted Oddities because they are my favourite, and they, I think, do the highest quality bookish clothing that I've ever seen. But there are lots of other options. Again, if they don't ship to your country or you have a more local option, then absolutely check out some small businesses. But just as a note, the ones I'm going to show you are from Enchanted Oddities because I love her so much. I've just brought through a couple of things to show you, but absolutely get what you think is right for the person you're shopping for. But for example, printed and graphic tees, there are so many places that do printed bookish t-shirts. This one happens to say Lord of Bloodshed, General of the Night Court. There is a lot that are like book boy related actually. If you know that the reader has a favourite book boyfriend, maybe get them something with that on. One of my most worn pieces of apparel from Enchanted Oddities is actually one of their embroidered sweatshirts. Now these are a little bit more expensive, so I wouldn't really recommend these if you're looking for kind of around that £10 to £20 mark. But if you do have a bit more money to spend, then I would absolutely recommend checking Enchanted Oddities out, or again, your local substitute of small business. I just feel like you can't go wrong with a bookish hoodie. It can be so difficult as a reader to find apparel for the fandoms that you like, and often when you can, because they are small businesses and a lot of the items are handmade, they can get more expensive. Again, this might not be suitable for absolutely everybody, either depending on price, or you might not be able to find something in a fandom. I will say there's lots more kind of general bookish merchandise around nowadays, and anything that is comfy and snuggly and perfect for reading, I think will go down well. Whilst we're talking about apparel and clothing, actually, if you don't want to get them something that is super bookish, maybe you think that that wouldn't fit their vibe or how they like to dress. Something else I think you could get within this apparel category is like comfy socks. And hear me out. Not just comfy socks, comfy anything. We have a visit from a mystery guest. Would not recommend getting a reader a puppy. Just putting that out there, because you take up all of my time and then I don't get any reading done. Yeah. Although great, actually, while we're on the terms of cozy things, she is great at cuddling and keeping warm in the winter. Oh, that is a big yawn. Anything that's cozy, doesn't have to be socks. Socks are my example, but I'm talking like you can get bookish blankets or just like big reading blankets in general. If you want to go all out, particularly if you're buying for somebody who like you live with, let's say it's a partner, those big bookish reading chairs, bean bags, anything that is like a comfy reading situation for your bookworm, I'm sure they would love. There is nothing better than at the end of the day for me, curling up with a blanket and a coffee and a book. Most readers have different favourite reading setups. But if you know your bookworm and you know theirs, get them something that allows for that. So for example, for me, I really love comfy socks. I would appreciate a big slouchy like jumper or hoodie, slippers, hot water bottles, like anything that allows me to have that really comfy reading time and just like switch off is always a bonus. But for example, if you know that your reader likes peace and quiet when they read, thinking about things like loop earplugs and such like that, I think that would be a nice little touch as well. And that's kind of everything on apparel and I guess home goods. Now the next one I'm going to mention is one of my favourite things you could get for a bookworm, and if anybody bought me this I would scream. And again, I'm going to mention one brand in particular, but there are definitely other small businesses and other places that you can get this, but that is Bookish jewellery. There is a very wide price range on these items, like some of them you can pick up really affordably, other items like some of the ones I'm going to show you might be more expensive because they include precious metals or stones. My absolute favourite place to get bookish jewellery from is Between the Pages, who is based in the US. I have been following them for a number of years and I was really lucky that when I went to a Polycon they were there as a vendor, and I picked up 2 rings and 2 necklaces that I'll show you just to give you a bit of an idea of what they do, but as I said, there's other places you could get them. For example, here I have a necklace. This says Fireheart on it, which is one of the pet names for one of my favourite characters in my favourite series. This one is a silver necklace, so it wasn't too expensive, and they did have other kind of pet names and terms that you could pick from. This is just the one I went for. One of the other things that I picked up is this absolutely beautiful sword necklace. They were actually kind enough to gift me this one. This is a sword from the same series, the Throne of Glass series, and this one has some kind of semi-precious gem in there. I think this is potentially a... I don't actually know. If anybody knows what's in here, let me know. I think this is maybe a tourmaline, like a pink tourmaline, but I could be wrong. I don't even know if they're classed as semi-precious gems or just gems. It's a tourmaline. I think it's a pink tourmaline. Could be wrong. But they had lots of different swords and fantasy weapons from different series. So particularly if the reader is a fantasy lover, they might love something like this. The other 2 bits I want to show you from Between the Pages. I have 2 rings actually. So this first one is my favourite. It unfortunately no longer fits me, but my husband has been wearing this one. I need to get a new version of this when I see them next. They have these absolutely beautiful silver rings, and I think they did these in gold as well. You'd have to double check. And they have quotes on there. This one says, "To whatever end," and then on the inside, because it has quotes on the outside and the inside, on the inside it says, "I claim you, Fireheart." So again, this is a Throne of Glass piece, and I have to say everything I have from them has been like expertly made. It is so beautiful. And then the final thing that I have, and again I need to get this resized, but this one I can get resized luckily. This one is a silver akatar ring. I think they call this style the signet ring, and there is a black diamond in here as well. So lots of really beautiful options if you are looking for a slightly bigger gift this holiday season. Last couple of bits, just to recap really quickly, and these are kind of like smaller things I think would go nicely into a package, maybe with a bookmark. I don't actually currently have any on me because I'm not a big tabber, but if you know that your bookworm is a fan of annotating and tabbing their books, definitely invest in some nice pens or nice highlighters for them. And maybe look at ordering tabs. There are so many different types of tabs online, and I see so many people kind of like color coding their tabs to the book cover. So if you know they have a book they're particularly excited to read, or a series of books they're particularly excited to read, maybe think about picking up some tabs in that color scheme. And I think other than the very obvious thing, which is buy them books, that is everything. Hopefully that was helpful. It felt like quite a whistle-stop tour. I think I got through that pretty quickly, but hopefully that helps you find a gift for your bookworm this holiday season or for any other occasion. If you like this video, then you might enjoy my others, so before you leave today, make sure you are hitting subscribe. And don't forget to let me know in the comments if you're a bookworm, what is your favourite bookish gift that you've ever received, or what is the favourite bookish gift that you've ever given to somebody. Thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next one.